Hello, and welcome back to Better Than Fiction with Janette and Eden. This is our June wrap-up into July.
That means we're halfway through the year.
Halfway through our lists, halfway through our challenges.
And
Feeling good.
But do you feel that your piles at home have gotten smaller?
No.
No.
No, I've bought more books.
Me too.
So.
And I've added more. And it's quite a hazard working here because my list gets longer because I see the new books. I see all these lists and lists and lists and catalogs. If even books, of course, that we don't buy that sound interesting, but we can't buy everything.
Yeah.
So my lists are actually not helping.
I know. I'm looking at my TBR list and I'm with the new books that I bought or new ones in here. I'm like, can I switch that out? But that defeats the purpose of the TBR list is to get through your old TBR before you get to your new TBR. So yeah. But I completed all of my challenges this month and I got my commitment read done. This is a hunk of a book. But I did it. I'm very glad I did it. I did it over a vacation too, so it's done. I thought it was really great, well written, a lot of world building and character development. Yeah, and dragons.
Who doesn't love a good dragon?
That. Yeah, so I got my first commitment book down. I feel good about that.
I'm nervous about mine. Mine, it has to come up. It's gonna have to come up.
It's trickling down, yeah. And then my nonfiction, I read Clean Green this month, I think, yeah. So that was just mostly recipes of different ways to switch out your cleaning habits in your home to make it more sustainable. You pretty much are mixing your own stuff, so that was good. I got some photocopies of that. And then the book prompt was red cover, and I read something off of my TBR bookshelf at home. It's called King Dork. It's about a young adult, middle schooler. He discovered Catcher in the Rye and is dealing with how he relates to Holden and growing up and seeing that reflected. So yeah, that's my wrap up.
Well, I also got to finish mine, so I was pretty happy because actually it all happened like in 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks in the middle because I felt like, oh, the month started and I haven't touched it.
Yeah.
And then boom, I got them all done. So I read The Sisters from Hardscrabble Bay. I don't know what my fetish is right now with Canadian literature. And it's by happen chance, but it's been on, my TBR shelf. Because this does take place in New Brunswick back in the early 1900s, and then their immigration to the U.S. and their poverty living both in New Brunswick as well as in the big city. So this was off my list. It's off my piles at home. So if you're interested in The Sisters from Hardscrabble Bay, I'm putting it in the Friends room. So if you haven't visited there, you may be able to find it. My nonfiction, it was really harsh and really hard. I listened to my nonfiction choice, which was called Who Gets Believed? And I listened to it in audio, and I will tell you, I almost stopped in the first 5-10 minutes of it because she was describing what I believe it's Israeli torture, or not Israeli, excuse me. It was a Middle Eastern country, and I just went, oh my gosh. And I thought, nope, I want to listen to this. And it was a fantastic book about refugees that are looking for asylum. And it actually looks at the British political system, but it does make references to the US and Australia and whose stories and what stories you have to have and what questions you have to answer and how many times you relive the horrors. And just the way that the politics work behind it. I highly recommend it. We do have the print copy here at the library, and I started with that, and then I was going to read that, and then I went, no, I'll listen to that. It's an audio. In audio, it's very vivid. She is a wonderful writer. So I do recommend that. For my red book, so about this time of the year, I like to start making handmade gifts. And so I read a Christmas book, so it reminds me, hey, you got 6 months, sister, to get that done. So my red cover was a Christmas book. And these are basically short romance stories. I picked it up because actually we have Joanna Shoup's Regency books. And this is just part of our series. So we will be adding this to our collection.
Cool.
So that we have it. So that was my red book this year, or this month. This month.
She gets one red book a year.
I get one red book. So, and then I read a few other things. I got a Western read off my bingo sheet. So I was starting to work on that, have my Western done. I actually read Sandra Dallas's book, Where the Coyotes Howl. It takes place in Wyoming. And the women who struggle to be out there with life, losing children. This was still in the early 1900s. It actually does talk about Iowa a little bit, from where people come from, and their transition, and some that don't transition as well. So it is a solid Western, complete with cowboys and hard living, and some serious themes of being able to survive in really harsh conditions and isolation. And so I do recommend it. That sits on our new bookshelf right now. So
you've got bingo galores.
I'm almost done.
Yeah,
I'm almost done.
2.
Yes.
And one
I'm
to
getting
go
there.
for a lot of them.
I know. My goal is to complete this sheet.
I don't know if I'm gonna get there, because I just did one this month. I read a book of short stories. It was called Today I Saw a Woman Go Mad in the Supermarket. It was kind of sad, a bit of a downer. Middle-aged women just kind of going through and feeling the woes of their relationships, kind of fizzling out of love, and yeah, wasn't my favorite read of the month, but I got a bingo square crossed off.
But it is one that, when it first came out, got some conversation about it. So it's good to know your review on it. But I don't think
Headspace was not what I wanted to read going into summer. In the winter, I think I would have liked it.
As long as it doesn't depress you too much, because you're already in a dark space.
True. But
you have to be in the right headspace. We'll go there.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get started. What our next things are.
TBR number.
All right, our number this month is number 8. Number 8. What is my number 8?
Oh, good.
Oh, I'm excited. This one's not my commitment book yet.
That's nice.
It is nice. Just a nice size book. It's a fantasy. I know it's a fantasy. Thistlefoot. We do have a copy here.
That's about the witch, isn't it?
Yes, it's kind of like the Hansel and Gretel thing.
Yeah.
So,
what is her?
And I actually have that book at home, so it'd be nice to get that off my list. So
that one's on my list too. Not like this list, but my overarching one. So tell me how that one is too.
I will.
And my number 8 is The Reading List by Sarah Nisha Adams. I'm excited to pick that one up. 2.
My nonfiction book is going to be the Lost Gutenberg Bible. It's the history of the Gutenberg Bible, the people who owned it, and the power around that particular book. So that should take in some of my religious history and those things right there in the 200s.
Yeah, I'm also doing the 200s. I am doing Greek mythology, surprise there. I like a refresher every now and then as I get into reading Greek mythology based books and fiction. I just got Stone Blind.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's sitting on my table at home, so I'll be picking up that one soon. So that'll be nice to kind of read at the same time as getting a refresher of the history of Greek mythology. So I'm excited about that. And
okay, our reading prompt. Let's see what we got going on here. Let's see. Well, we're gonna read a book with a yellow cover.
Yeah, those are fun.
Those are kind of fun.
Yellow cover.
Yellow cover.
It's my favorite color. Now you know.
Well, you know, it is a happy color. It's a sunny color, so it's actually very appropriate for July.
Yes.
And all of our sun once we have the smoke out of our way.
Yes. Yeah.
Again, Canada. We have connections with Canada. Yet again.
Yes. Well, I think that's it. Again, our number is
8.
reading a book with a yellow cover. And then Janette and I are both reading
In the 200s.
in the 200s for our nonfiction.
So happy July reading.
Yes.
Hopefully you'll get some extra time over the holiday to read. Good luck.
Happy reading.
Happy reading.